What's up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to show you guys something that I have known about since I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. A lot of entrepreneurial type people have read this book, and I want to go over his cash flow quadrant, and it's how people earn money. This is something that you will need to know. So the very first thing is there are four quadrants. There is the E standing for the employee, the S standing for the self-employed, and the B standing for business owner, and the I standing for investors. 95% of the total people on the literal planet Earth are in the E category, the employee category. And then you've got the I, which is the investor category. And there's about 0.1% of the total population is in the investor category. 4% are self employed, and then 0.9%, the remainder are actual business owners. So the natural progression is people start out at the E sector, they start out as an employee, and then a lot of people start something like a pressure washing business where I am currently, or a trucking business, being an owner operator. Anything that they start being an owner operator, they are self employed. So then they move to the S sector, and then they become a business owner. Now, a lot of people, it's very important to say this, that a lot of people get stuck at the S sector. A lot of people get stuck being self employed, and they're always an owner operator. They're always operating, working in the business and not on their business. So, your goal should be to go from an employee working at a job that the job itself is owned by a business or corporation. You do not own the job. Once you become self employed, you own the job, if that makes sense. So, E is you have a job, S is you own the job. Okay. And a lot of people just stay at the S tier where they have more control on what they can make, but they are taxed actually at a higher rate than an employee in terms of all the taxes that they have to pay, because they have to pay self-employment tax. Now, to the natural progression, and what most people fail to do is they fail to become a business owner, become an owner of the business, and have employees. This should be what you go to. So that is going to be the B section. And this is going to be you own the system, and people work for you. Okay. So the natural progression again, E to S to B, and majority of people do not make that bridge from the S to the B, and then get people working for them and doing the work for them. The I section, which literally almost nobody gets to, is the becoming an investor in other companies, and this is money works for you. Okay. That is an investor. This is the natural progression, the E to an S to an I. This is how you become a multi-millionaire, even up to the billionaire status. You have to decide um, early, if you can, the earlier the better, where you want to be. And that'll help you. Hopefully, this helps you visualize this right now on the screen, going from an E to an S to a B. And the earlier you decide where you want to be, maybe you want to just get to the B sector where there's literally 0.4% or 0.9% of the total population is at. You want to develop a system that is so good that people work for you, and you don't have to be there to reap the reward that you have sown over time with employees taking care of stuff. Now, to get to that point, once you're there and you make it to the I sector, Once you get to the I sector, you're literally on the boards of companies like, I don't know, let's say you're on the board of Jobber, the CRM. You're on the board of Marquette. You're an investor. You're investing. You go to Silicon Valley to invest in companies you believe in, and your money works for you instead of having to own employees. You don't manage the employees, the software developers. You're completely out of it. You just give them money. You reap the reward from that money, and it all starts at the E sector. 99% of you are probably working a job that you hate, and that's your motivator to become a self-employed pressure washer. A lot of people that watch my channel are pressure washers, and to do that, let's go over something. So let's say you're starting out as an employee, but you go out and you buy a pressure washer. So let's say you start out being the guy that goes out and gets his own jobs. You have your little pressure washer here. We'll give it a gas tank, all this stuff, and a wand, and a gas, and a hose going to it, and you got your little gun here. So you're out actually doing all the work. Congratulations, you've made it to a self-employed side hustler that you're doing it on the weekends. Now, once you build up enough money to 2x your, maybe not even 2x, maybe 1.5x your job's income. Okay. Once you're at that point, then you can probably go full time. Okay. And then you go full time and you might double your revenue because you're able to work 7 days a week instead of just on the weekends. Let's say you go to, oh, I don't know. Let's say you make it to that 6 figure mark of 100K. Okay. Let's say you get there after let's say it's your third year in and you go full time and you're making at least 100K. So now what you need to do, once you get to a certain point, let's say above 6 figures, you need to be learning, okay, how much do I need to survive off of? Let's say you need 40 grand. Let's say you need 30 grand a year to survive. Okay. So what can you do with the other 40 grand to move into that B sector of becoming a business owner? Can you pay somebody 25,000 a year to do all the work and you become just the sales guy and marketing guy and taking calls guy? Maybe that's your first step to becoming a business owner. And then you take the other bit of this 40 and maybe you hire a receptionist or Jill's office or somebody to take calls, and you start getting jobs. Now, once you do that, and let's say you literally grow this to a 600K a year business at this point. Now you're a business. You're no longer self-employed because you have taken this 40 and you've got 2 employees, let's say. And that helps you grow it to this number with 2 employees. You're a business owner at this point. Now, to become a full-fledged business owner, you need to be able to remove yourself and develop a system. So if you've got your operator, you've got a receptionist. Those are the first 2 things you need to do. Let's say you make it to this 600K mark. Okay. Now let's hire a sales guy, Then let's hire out our marketing. So outsource marketing. Okay. Let's outsource our marketing, and then even we'll hire a manager. Maybe this could be later in the steps, but this is like just thinking about like what my system's going to be. I want to eventually get off the truck and just be the guy literally getting jobs. That's what I want to do. And then once I do that and I make it to that 600K, I'm going to be hiring out, and out delegating other jobs to other people until eventually that I'm just literally sitting here making videos for you guys, showing you the system I put together. This is literally it right here. Now, once you get to the manager, you're hiring a manager guy. Okay. This guy is your ticket to literally you are heavily in the B tier. You are an owner, you own a business, you own a system. Once you get to this, it's very easy to get to this. Okay. And this is what a lot of people don't understand. To get to 1 million in the pressure washing world, you have to develop a system with a lot of delegations building a huge company. And you can go, 1 mil plus. At this point, you can sell for two. Wait. At this point, you can sell, once you hit a million, you could easily sell this business for 2.1x. Okay. If you're at a million, that's 2.1 million. You could sell the business here. You can exit. Okay. And you have built it to be able to exit, because if you can't take yourself out, then you cannot sell the business. If you build it with systems in place and doing this early, thinking about this early, you can sell later and exit and then go into another venture. You know what I mean? That's eventually my goal. I might, if it's working so well and I'm making over a million once we get to that point, and I'm not here yet, but I am thinking about this now, as you should be. Once we're at this point, then who knows? Like another venture. If you think of like, okay, maybe I go into making equipment. That's like an exit for me. I get out of the washing. I sell the company once it hits a million. I'm completely out of it. I have systems in place. I sell it for 2.1. I take my 2.1 million and I go open up a huge warehouse factory, and I know the systems that it took there. I know the systems I can put in place to make a factory and all that stuff and start developing equipment. I'm just using this as an example. I'm probably never going to do that. Definitely not going to do that. But this is just an example of like the next stage of something. You can think of doing something else. Maybe I want to make my own stains or my own um, in a specific sector. It might be completely different from pressure washing. You know what I mean? But you can take that 2.1 mil and go into the investor category or start a whole brand new business. Now, all this being said, you do not have to sell the company once you reach, 7 figures, and maybe you want to push for 8 figures. Maybe you want to, once you're setting at, I think my goal would be to get to about 5 million a year. Now, to do that, it's going to take multiple locations, and multiple employees. Eventually, who knows, I might want to franchise it and become a franchise at that point and try to reach 20 million a year. That could be very feasible in 10, 15 years. Okay. As long as I build with a system in place and system in mind. Think systems, don't think how do I get my next dollar. You need a system for your lead flow. You need a system for future employees. You need a system when you show up to a property to clean that property. You need a system in place, SOPs, standard operating procedures to do things. You need to think in terms of systems, okay? Devise your own systems. What do you do when you first get to the property? Do you stop? Do you go hook up? Do you get there? Do you unroll the hose? Do you talk to the customer first? Do you knock on the door? I personally don't talk to anybody. I grab the garden hose and I unroll it out and I hook up to the property to the water source. Okay, that's step number one. And then if the customer comes out, I'll talk to them for a second. But till then, I'm hooking up to water. I'm turning everything on. I'm unrolling all the hoses. I'm there to do what I'm there to do, not stand around all day. Okay. It's a system, it's very detailed out. I do the exact same thing every time. It's about efficiency and getting paid at the end of the day. As someone in the E quadrant looking to go straight to someone in the B quadrant of the four quadrants we showed before, remember the E, S, B, and I's? The best way to do that is to find somebody that is currently doing that or is trying to do that and follow what they're doing. That is the best way. A lot of people call it a mentor, coach, you call it whatever you think. But that is the best way to do that. Another good way is to work for a successful company. Now, if you're looking to get into pressure washing, you go work for a big franchise that is in pressure washing, like Window Genie or some big franchise that is currently doing that. After working for one of these big franchises, you see the systems they have in place. They'll have standard operating procedures, or you can just simply learn about them from somebody that is developing systems right now, like myself. Now, I do have a paid community you can join. Shameless plug here, but it's $29 a month, and we have weekly Zoom calls every Thursday. People open up for Q&A. Two minds are better than one, and what's better than two minds? Three, four, five, six. And we learn quicker, we learn faster. We talk about what we're doing. In the next one, I'm going to be going over probably SOPs and standard operating procedures for pressure washing. If you're in the pressure washing universe, you will want to be a part of this group. I will leave it a link below in the comments section, a pinned comment, very first one at the top. But that is where you're going to want to go to learn how to become a business owner and not just getting rid of your job now if you're an employee and becoming self-employed and like tying yourself to the business. The problem with doing that and why self-employed is bad, one, taxes. You're going to get eaten up by taxes. Self-employment taxes 15% off the top. That's just, if you're self-employed, that's what it is. And then you got to add in all the other taxes. Business owners, when you get to the business owner and you develop a system with employees, you can take yourself out of the business. You're not giving yourself, okay, imagine this. You're handcuffed to your job that you hate or don't like or feel like you can earn more doing so. So imagine there's handcuffs right here. Okay, you're handcuffed to your 9 to 5. Okay, now what you do is you find a key and you unlock it, and then you go over here to the self-employed. Let's say you start a pressure washing or lawn care company, and you handcuff it to the pressure washer or the lawn or the lawnmower. That's what you do, and now you're handcuffed here. That's essentially what you've done. Is you have just taken the cuff off of, let's say it's on one arm and you're tied to the job. Okay, I would doodle this. Let me see if I can do it. So we're going to make a stick man, and here's his little handcuff, and here is his job, and he is an E here. He's an employee here. He's handcuffed to the job. So he finds a key. He gets rid of this. This is X'd off, and then he puts on another handcuff, and here is self-employed. Here's his pressure washer, and now he has handcuffed himself here. Okay, completely, like, yes, it's more freedom than being an employee and you have control over your income. But what he needs to do is take the cuffs off completely and develop systems. Okay, that's what he needs to do. He needs to become a business owner and not an operator. Okay, and that's what you need to work toward. Now, you'll probably have to become a self-employed. I'm not dogging that because I'm currently that right now, right? But I have systems in place already, and I'm delegating stuff out already to have systems in place to be able to get out of the self-employment so I can take this handcuff off of the pressure washing skid and be sitting here getting more business for the business, and then eventually delegating that out, and then eventually I'm making content about how I got to $5 million in gross revenue with my pressure washing company that I do not wash on. Okay, that's what you need to be thinking about. Hopefully, you guys got tons of value out of this. Make sure to go check out that school group. It's $29 a month. You get 3 PDFs that I put together. You can literally go through those PDFs. It's one of them is a quick start guide to immediately get a job tomorrow if you wanted to. Another one is a startup equipment PDF, all the startup equipment you'll ever need. It includes the pressure washing startup section and the soft wash startup equipment. And then there is a beginner's guide to chemicals PDF. This goes over all the chemicals you'll need for every application, every type of job you'll ever see. It is the beginner's chemical cookbook. You not only get all 3 of those PDFs and more, I'm currently developing more that you'll get as well, but also you'll get access to our weekly Zoom call sessions with other people looking to grow and become that business owner, get out of the 9 to 5 life and make tons and tons of money, get to that $1 million mark. That's my goal. Six figures isn't enough anymore. Seven figures where it's at. More stuff that we're going to be adding is I'm going to be dropping like how to set up Facebook ads, how to set up Google ads, who to maybe delegate to for your marketing, people that I've tried and tested and trust and have gotten results from, more importantly. And I will show all of that eventually. I will be putting more valuable stuff in there, but as right now, that's where we're at in terms of the $29 a month. It's less than $1 a day. Trust me, you can afford it. You can't afford not to do it because there's just so much value. If you spend 29 bucks and you come to every Zoom call every Thursday at 7 p.m. on the dot, you will go out and you will make a $4,000 month. I can guarantee you. All right. Hopefully you got value from this. See you in the next one. Peace out.